Welcome to Five Guys
on a Couch.
Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
This is filmed in front of the live studio audience, namely Greg and company.
Wow.
I am two of the guys,
Who's company?
I'm five of them.
and Matt's three.
So with that, we are waiting for our fifth member, Andrew.
Our fifth mender.
Ender. Yes. Well, we always need a healer on the team, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh. Oh, and I get a feeling here he comes.
You get that feeling every now and again, don't you?
Any minute now, he's gonna walk around that corner.
Well, some minute, yes, I know that for sure.
I need fruit
Greg,
snacks.
what is happening? Why aren't you in this shot right now?
Greg? Huh?
Greg, you can't stay behind
You're
the
not
camera
gonna
forever.
be on camera. I
You
need fruit
will
snacks.
love this.
I'm underdressed, and you're a disgrace.
Okay, let's have the first question from the audience. Let's go.
Yes, please.
Are we
Why?
recording?
Why what?
Where can I?
Yes, Greg.
Greg has the question.
Greg,
The,
let's hear it.
the
Let's hear your
duo
question.
over here.
I've been getting into surfing recently,
Okay.
and skateboarding, and also snowboarding.
That's a lot of different
At the
hobbies.
same time?
Is there a store where I could buy everything I need?
Yes.
It's called.
Next question.
Yes, Greg, again.
I got a family member. He really likes to cook and stuff, but he doesn't really wash his hands before he cooks. So what do I tell him?
Well, is the water made of sulfur?
I have an answer.
Yes, we have an audience answer.
An audience answer?
Yeah.
Show him the
Surprise.
wash your hands song.
Show the wash your hands song. I wash. Oh wait, no, that's a different. one. I know what you're talking about.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Oh, look, Greg's in the shot.
With a purse.
Oh, yes.
Wait, okay. Well, there's another wash your hands song. I know it has like a little tiger in it too.
We're back on Channel 5 for the next round of questions for the three men on the couch here. We have
Two guys on a couch.
There's two guys
What
here.
the what?
7 men on a couch.
Well, that's better.
Try for 8.
Yeah, we got a question pulled in from little Johnny from Arkansas.
Little Johnny. Boys are Kansas as well.
Yeah, that's it.
His question is, why can't I jump as high as LeBron James? I'm 5'9", just like he is.
Well,
Wow.
because his legs are made out of trees.
Who is
And they don't
LeBron
flex.
James?
Even for the best jumpers in the world, 5'9" is pretty high to jump.
But I thought he was 5'9", like he's not jumping.
No, if you're jumping as high as LeBron James and LeBron James is 5'9", I think he would jump as high as 5'9".
I'm just going by what the card says, guys.
Okay.
Oh, is that all you do?
Yeah, that's what you're going by.
Yeah.
What do we got free snacks in here?
I actually don't want.
Okay, next question.
Your host.
This one's from, it looks like the name is Christine. It says, oh hey, I used some aloe vera, just like you. I put some aloe vera on my face just like you guys told me to, but I wound up getting a horrible reaction to it. Why did that happen to my face?
Well, first I'd like to comment that was a nice interjection she wrote. Oh, hey. Just gonna throw that out there.
She said, oh hey, yeah.
The aloe vera. Yeah, you should probably stop using that. Instead, start using beeswax as much as possible.
But didn't we tell her to use aloe vera?
Yes, but now is a different time. See, she should have used it before that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, the aloe vera is the first step in making you look horrendously ugly, and then the beeswax really is what clears things up and fixes it. Yeah.
But before we finish that question, let's go to our plant expert, Andrew, here, to tell us the full details of this.
You know, why is this the fact?
Well, it sounds to me like she mixed up the aloe vera with an extract of poison ivy, and that would cause the same sort of reaction.
Well, maybe she did do that.
So tell her to stop being stupid, and that'll fix her problem.
Well, that's what we're telling her.
Well, I'm not.
So we're good.
This is what you guys told her last week. I mean, she's not very happy about this, yeah. Next question.
All right.
This one doesn't have a name to it, unfortunately. It looks like the question is, it was from Gary. The question is, if I found myself wandering down a hallway without any lights,
And
I don't know what to say. That's
how did he even mail it? You know?
There's no return address on it.
I guess it's
I
electronic
think he's
mail
trying to
now.
ask us how to solve his problem with incomplete sentences, and that's the best he could do.
I think
Yeah.
something took him
Maybe.
while he was typing out the question.
Next question.
Yeah, maybe that's the real issue.
What do you mean next question?
Next.
We don't know what happened to Gary Nameless over here.
Next question. I'm from the upper European culture of Little Mama's Castle. I have my own subjective. I have my own subjective reason for why I think what I do is good and why what I think I do is bad. Let me explain. If you don't, let me explain. If you don't respond to my question, I will take a plane and visit the show and talk to you guys in person. But I'd like to clear this up on the air right here. So can I say what I want is good and what is bad, in my own view?
Absolutely, if they are good and bad.
And
But you have to be willing to accept hear other views as well. You'd be a hypocrite to say only what I think is good and bad, and unwilling to hear someone else say what they think is good and bad. That doesn't mean you have to accept it, but you'd be a hypocrite to say that yours is the only one that could potentially be correct.
Okay. Any other things? One more question. We got one more question here, and then we're gonna throw it out to the live audience. Last question comes from. Can't even read it. It looks like Australia. Question is this: How
Those
fast?
Australians.
Jay.
How fast can I fly? If I'm on a train that's going 50 miles an hour, and I catapult myself off the train with a rubber band the size of a large. Oh no. If I'm on a train going 50 miles an hour and I catapult myself off the train with a large rubber band the size of a world map, how fast will I fly before the train hits me?
Does he land on the tracks then?
These are bad questions. Let's go.
Well, no. I know one speed that he will necessarily have to hit. If the train is moving at 50 miles per hour, he'll have to at some point hit 50 miles an hour. Because if he's being propelled in front of the train.
But we can ignore that because the train's going at speed.
No, listen. Because if the train is going 50 miles per hour and he's propelled in front of the train, he has to initially be moving faster than 50 miles per hour. But if the train is going to end up hitting him, he has to slow down to less than 50 miles per hour so the train can catch up to him. And we don't know exactly what it could be. It could be 50.0001, and that would suffice. But he at some point has to be going 50 miles per hour. It's okay.
But
This
you're
is-
going
this-
He's already going.
Yeah,
Oh, there was an additional question attached to it.
What?
Do you like toast and gravy?
Biscuits
No.
are better.
I will say I do like toast and exotic jellies.
Will you combine anything?
Combine
You
anything?
combine
Yeah.
your exotic jellies.
Let's take this further. Will you combine any of those foods together?
Toast,
Toast
gravy,
and- toast
and
and
exotic
jellies.
jellies?
Don't forget the gravy.
Yeah, and the gravy.
Yeah.
What about the gravy?
I'd be willing to, yes. I'd do it. Like toast,
I-
exotic jellies.
I've
and
never
gravy.
tried it. I can't have it.
It might be good. It might be real good.
What, do you mix it up or something?
Yeah, I put it in the blender when I do it. This is hypothetically speaking, but I put it in the blender, and I put it on liquefy.
You sound so sure of it though.
Well, this is hypothetical. But what I
When
do,
this is what you do.
no, this is completely hypothetical. And so when I put it in the blender, I hit liquefy for 10 to 15 seconds, bring it out, add a little milk, stir it up a little bit, right through the straw.
What type of milk?
2%.
Ooh,
Baking
got
soda?
no coal.
What?
Baking soda?
Baking soda?
Baking soda in there?
A little bit of that.
Yeah? Paprika?
No, that's disgraceful.
Okay.
Aloe vera.
Only if I want to have
Not the
a terrible
poisonous
face.
kind. Not
Wait, who do
the
you feed that to? Who gets that at the end?
Me?
At the end of the day, who gets it?
Um,
No,
not
last
sure to
What?
take that question.
At the end of the day, who gets it?
Not quite sure. Let's move on.
I'm sorry, actually, we got one more question. So the mailman comes to my house, doesn't leave the mail, leaves something else. What does he leave in my house? If you guys were a mailman, I think what he's asking is, what if you guys were a mailman, how would you deliver the mail? That's the question.
By placing the mail and not something other
How
than mail
did
in the
you?
house.
How did you interpret that?
I think
I did not compute that
I'm a
fast.
mailman and I don't leave mail. I'm a bad mailman.
what do you do if the box is full, though? Where do you put the mail?
What box?
The mailbox.
Oh,
I don't know.
Is it open to public opinion? Where does the mail go?
I take what's in the box out, I put it on the ground and trample it. I put my mail in because mine is objectively better than the previous mail in.
Okay,
on my
well,
route.
Here's a related question. If the mailbox were somehow filled with cement, what do you do with the mail?
I think you withhold it.
You withhold the mail?
Yeah.
Don't all mailmen carry chisels?
So the
They get the cement out.
audience.
Yeah, this is a
knows
bronze.
what's
This is a
up.
Bronze Age question. Actually, I forgot to mention that. If you were a mailman living in the Bronze Age,
Again.
We have a maximum submission policy.
there's actually two more. There's two more questions. I'm not going to read the other two questions added on to this. But yeah, if you were a mailman in the Bronze Age, like what would you wear as a mailman? Like what would your outfit be?
Oh, whatever the male men wear. Male.
As opposed to the female men.
Yeah.
Like, is it like you two have some sort of armor or anything?
None of the female men stuff.
I didn't say that.
Only mailmen clothes.
No, but like I mean, I'm sure like back in the day, like they had to wear some sort of armor just to protect from guard dogs and other sort of things.
Yeah, because they had guard dogs back then.
Mailmen have always had a problem with dogs.
Yeah, why is that? Like, they don't even
wow.
know. They don't even know.
Maybe
A
that's the
random
problem.
guy comes to your house all the time. They don't know it's the same truck, do they? They don't know it's the same damn truck.
Should I do another question? You got more?
Well, what about the live studio audience?
Any question?
Yeah, we need to get some audience.
Hey, you love
participation.
questions, eh?
We'll take a Kaufman's.
Oh, you right there, young sir.
The Kaufman Seeing Eye Dog Foundation has a question.
So I've got this seeing eye dog. But there's a problem.
Yeah.
He can only see with one of his eyes. So I'm thinking about starting the seeing eyes dogs.
Seeing Eye
just
Dog
have-
for the Seeing Eye Dog?
What do you mean
Yeah.
starting? Oh.
Because I've got a seeing eye dog,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
want
No, I
some seeing
understand.
eyes dogs.
Mm-hmm.
More than one with multiple
Okay.
eyes.
Okay.
Come on,
Where
guys,
do
help
I
him out.
find these?
I'm assuming that means they have 2 and not 4, 5 eyes.
I mean, why not?
I guess if they exist, why not?
Good idea.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
you can see in all directions. It's the
No, are
same
you
dog.
thinking of a sort of chain of seeing eye dogs? So the blind owner will own a dog, but that dog might be somewhat blind, and that dog is led by another dog, which is led by another dog. So the
That is
little
exactly what I'm thinking of. Then I can be the middleman and make quite a profit.
Well, okay, so here's probably an easier way. Just cut it and just get 2 seeing eye dogs.
What am I cutting?
The
The
dog.
other eye from the other
The
dog.
dog? Oh.
Yeah,
So
you want
we
to
got
take
two
you want to take
seeing
2
eye
dogs.
Take the eye out
2
of
seeing
one,
eye dogs.
put it in the other.
Take 2 seeing eye dogs.
Wow.
No, that's a terrible idea. What you want to do is take 2 seeing eye dogs, put them side to side, glue them together, and then over time they'll think as one, and I got one eye on each side.
What kind of glue do you recommend?
I recommend.
I recommend Jake glue, actually.
All right, from the Cake Bakery, we have a question from the audience. Lady in Purple, she makes cakes. I've seen them myself, they're pretty good. What's the question?
If I want to switch from making cakes to making pizzas, what do I do?
Yikes. That's...
Ooh, that's tough.
I would,
Tough because you can't put icing on pizzas.
I would advise
Stop that.
breaking the transition into go to pies first, and then you can easily transition to pizzas, also known as pizza pies.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So
Good idea.
pizzas and cakes are both in the same category of foods, and
And pies and cakes are both very delicious. And dessert-like.
yes. So I think my point is clear.
We understand your
So,
point.
it's the same advice as we give everything. Baby steps.
Mhm.
Baby steps.
Yep.
It's a lot easier if you start as a baby because you learn. You're like a sponge of
Yeah, but
knowledge.
so how do you make the jump between cakes and pies? You start making fruit-filled cakes?
Yeah, like some of the raspberry almond cakes,
Okay.
carrot cake even. It's not a fruit; it's a vegetable, but
Yeah.
the same.
You can even start taking the cakes that you make and like spin them over your head and see.
The host is now giving advice.
Well, that's good advice. I welcome it.
We pay
Oh,
you
man.
to ask the questions, not answer. Stop.
That's, yeah.
Andrew, I have one more question, just so that the progression from cakes to pies to pizzas for our client is clear.
Fully complete.
At what point in the
You
step
make flatbread cakes.
Greg, shut up. At what point in the process do you think it's appropriate to ditch the icing? Because that's a lot of things people struggle with, knowing when to ease off.
Well,
and
you
when
don't have to make it.
Another option, and something you could do, is go from cake and go to cheesecake, which you kind of make the cheesecake instead of the icing as much. And then you go to the pie, maybe put some whipped cream on top of it.
Right.
And then
now
that
you're not coating
naturally,
it. Right.
yeah, naturally the
Yep.
cheese will come to
But-
replace it over time.
The
The
cheesecake-
cheesecake will help out with that.
Right.
The
The
cheesecake
focus
is
is the actual
very
material of the
Dependent on the
pastry
crust,
itself.
right?
What is that?
Cake doesn't really have a crust at all.
That's true. Yeah,
So-
cheesecake does have a crumb crust.
So how do
sorts.
you get into the crust phase?
Cheesecake.
So you just start with the cheesecake, but I feel like the crust part of a cheesecake is like heavily emphasized. I mean, there's only two parts of a cheesecake, and that's cheese and the crust.
Well, Matt, you're acting as though you can't take any steps. You have to. I mean, it's not going to be.
Baby
Yeah, they will be
steps.
baby steps, but going to adding a crust, it isn't that difficult. That's not that great of a step.
Yeah.
I think that's manageable for most
We're
humans.
gonna wrap this up.
Okay, you can even go to your late shade, just don't make it too soggy, am I right? Next question.
Okay.
At what point does sauce come into the picture?
Well, that's where say a raspberry filling or the pie filling naturally becomes the tomato sauce. And tomatoes are fruit, so it's very much along the same lines.
Culinary.
Think-
Over
think
time,
we
it
have
rises
enough
to
time.
the top, as it were.
Couple minutes. One more question.
All right, we're
More
looking to wrap
question.
up here for all of our viewers at home so they can get on to the next show that they're about to watch because they like to sit in front of the TV all day. So we have one last question
You
from
insulted
a.
We're also on a couch.
We have one last question from a very avid horse rider. Buys the saddle, buys the horse, doesn't buy anything else. The helmet, doesn't wear a helmet. And it's from right there, the lady with the ponytails and glasses in the back. Or the lady in the red glasses.
Is it over?
Both ride horses.
They both.
After you. You want to pick that one?
We both ride the saddle. Like, we both.
We both ride, actually.
Yes.
But the thing is that we have nothing to ride on.
But you bought
well,
the
we
horse.
Have our, yeah, we have.
And the saddle.
We have the horse and the
We
saddle.
have the horse and the saddle.
But without a blanket or the padding in between, the horse gets chafed and sweaty. So how do you prevent your horse from getting so sweaty?
Blanket. I think your answer was in the question. You said, without a blanket, this happens.
Get a blanket. If you
Yeah.
can afford a horse and a saddle, blanket is not the most expensive.
Actually, let's go back to the cake question.
Oh boy.
A
Horse cake?
Wow.
What if your horse cake
Doug!
is chafed and
Doug, get out of the frame. Can somebody please remove Doug?
I'll remove
He is very, very intrusive. Okay, thank you.
What are your views on ice cream cake?
Ice cream cake is wonderful. It is
Just
a
tastes
pure
so
blessing
You were
from the
saying
Lord.
that you have, a crust
Yeah.
for a pie, and then it is called an ice cream cake, and you were saying that cake does not have a crust.
But ice cream
Except
cake does.
cheesecake. We verified that one.
Well, ice cream cake doesn't have a crust.
No, but it has like layers in between. It has like an internal.
Yeah, layers. That's
The crust.
one of the defining features
It's
of
like
cake.
it's like a crust introvert of the pastry
Oh,
world. It
oh,
like takes its
we're all about
crust and
introverts
holds it
now.
inside. Yeah, it just doesn't
That's
like
how
show
it
it
is.
off to the world. It just keeps it inside.
Well, with that
Personal.
with that line of reasoning, I would just say all of a cake is typically a crust, just distributed.
Fine. Yeah.
So what? Okay, so a pie is kind of like half cake in a way.
They're
It's
related.
got some cake in it though, on the outside.
I don't know why.
If
I follow you.
If a cake is a crust, right? Is a crust a cake?
No. Objects and classes,
Well, what is a crust?
genus, species,
What is a crust?
rectangle, squares. What is a crust?
Yeah, tell me what a crust is.
Crust. Would you like to answer this, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the outermost.
Resident crust expert.
It's the yeah, I am. I spent 4 years studying crust. It significantly
I
He made
would
some
know.
major breakthroughs in the
significantly
crust research.
stunted my career in anything else. This is his. I don't own it. I can't own it. Anyway, a crust is the outermost layer of anything that's typically crunchy and hard.
So is our skin a crust?
It's not crunchy and hard. If you get severely sunburned, at that point, yes, it becomes.
You said it's,
You would know.
Right. If you have a crust
So-
for skin, you know, and you're also have my pity.
Maybe we can turn the camera 45 degrees to the right. I think there's a man.
Right, not down.
There's a,
and 45 degrees. I think it needs to be more about 100.
there we go. Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the horse questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I don't know if I like
Because we mentioned that they bought the horse and they bought the saddle, but they had nothing to ride on. So I'm thinking, along that lines, what if they meant they had nothing to ride on, as in they had the horse and the saddle, but all the ground around them turned into apple butter? What should they do now?
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
We have a follow-up question. Answer. What's going on here?
What's going on?
The audience is now taking over the show.
Like it.
So it's a very hard question. Because now all I want is apple butter. Because
So I think it really boils down to, and this is something that we have discussed before. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized
Oh.
horses
Wow.
or one horse-sized duck? That's what it really boils down to,
this
right?
is
Am I
getting
wrong?
into a big debate. Okay, well,
That's a question that was brought up.
Okay,
in
okay.
my
That question in 2005.
I
study
am
for
so prepared for this
servants
one.
in the household, yeah.
And that
Andrew,
test-
what would your, just give me your response, not your reasoning. Which would you rather face?
The 100.
The 100, okay, the 100 horse, duck-sized horses,
yeah.
okay? And Kyle, without reasoning, without explaining your reasoning.
I agree.
Okay, I would choose the one duck, okay?
What,
The
can
horse-sized
you explain
duck.
your reasoning?
Okay, well, first
When you
of
think
all,
about the apple butter, I think it just becomes clear.
Are we assuming that these things are helping us consume the apple butter so we can get back to the ground level?
Where is your mind?
We're eating apple butter.
wait, no, okay.
We're
What is your
parallelizing the
reasoning?
apple butter consumption task with many duck-sized horses.
Why would you face the 100?
Because about the worst they can do is nibble at me.
Well, I mean, they're pretty strong little horses.
All I have to do is kick.
Yeah, but 100.
100 of them, Andrew.
It's not that bad.
Wait until you see 100. Like, okay, have you seen 100 ducks in one place?
Probably.
Like, really? 100 all at once? Like it's storm.
I'd even rather face 100
Like I might.
ducks as opposed to 100 duck-sized horses.
Right, but I've seen like maybe 20 ducks gaggled together, but
Nice.
5 times that
Nice
I've not
usage.
seen.
Nice usage.
So, but one measly little duck the size of a horse isn't going to do much. Doesn't.
We're going to start our detective portion of the evening.
I mean, the duck can't even fly.
That's that light.
But we
it's
didn't-
time to move on.
I think the apple butter question was made clear. Is that correct?
Lick it with 100 duck-sized horses.
That seems to be what the consensus
And ducks
is.
can swim as well.
Can ducks lick?
No, I don't think they can.
That's why it's 100 duck-sized horses.
Oh, correct,
Those horses
sorry.
can lick, yes.
Thank you.
I think in this
100
sense,
horses have tremendous licking potential, especially in the realm of apple butter.
Yeah,
But just make sure it's not Applejack, because you can't keep a good pony down.
That's right.
even though she wasn't, on the plates.
Andrew will.
We don't even know if she's real.
I think we have an answer from the horse rider herself.
This is what we're all about. We help people find their own
No,
solution.
I was just wondering. Matt said he would take the horse-sized duck. Do you think we could trade our horse in for the horse-sized duck and it can swim in the apple butter?
Brilliant. I like that idea.
Like,
That, yup,
one
okay.
thumb up right there.
That's even
Well,
better than any other.
Approved. Approved.
Do it. Trade it in. eBay. Go now.
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
I kind of feel like we need to start this episode
Okay,
over.
great.
Etsy.
All right.
No, we're not making-
Thanks so much for coming. I love the finger strength it took you to take to turn this channel on. So we're gonna have to make you use it one more time because the show's over. You're gonna want to turn your TV off. So, hey, thanks for coming out to the 2009 World Series of Poker. We'll see you soon.
This is filmed in front of a live studio audience, namely Greg and company.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Are you gonna edit me saying
We have a
edit
video
this
of this.
scene?
This part, guys.
Every room
I like this
can
part.
now be lit with just electricity, electricity.
I think we need to entirely redo that. That was awful.
That's why you edited it.
That was just about the worst possible show.
It's better in post.
I don't understand.
But we'll fix it. It's better in post. Junction, junction, what's your function? Sponsored by Jake Glue.
Nice
You can
pitch.
send a text to someone over and over and over again. Especially only to Jake.
We even have a live testimony right here.
How has Jake Glue changed your life?
It made it so much worse.
This is where you take it away, Kyle.
And I
Take it,
say,
Kyle.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
I said, hey,
What's going on? Say, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah.
I
Say,
said,
hey.
hey, what's going on?
Yeah!
Woo! Yeah.
So we should do new episodes with more structure and like have everyone come in and do them.
Probably.
Oh, so now we gotta put structure.
Well, yeah.
Breaks out.
Without the structure, it's just you were doing a good job with the questions, but I think I